want to show this because this is just super interesting. So it's called Flip Car for obvious reasons. I'm just going to say now, it doesn't flip cars in our game. We've done that to stop any kind of griefing issues. We want to have a proper racing experience online.
Shout out to my boy Voxity for making that video on Twitter. It's very good. And it's here. I have it. I bought the car pack, so you don't have to. Well, here's the ramp car. This is it right here. It looks, first of all, it looks mental. That's the main thing about it. It looks absolutely ridiculous, and I'm going to be taking a look at this car, obviously, for today's video. Also, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back to some Forza Horizon 5. This is a new car that was added to the game with the newest car pack, the Fast and Furious 10 car pack. It's the flip car, or ramp car, I called it, but it's the flip car 2.0, basically. Now, if you want to get this car pack for yourself, you can do so if you go over here and you just buy it. It's a tenner. It's €10 for 5 cars. I mean, this was like $5, right, for 4 cars. And this, again, was a $5 for 4 cars. A tenner for 5 cars, though, is a little much, if you ask me. Again, it's Fast 10 car pack, so it's got some name behind it, I guess. But I don't think it's worth a tenner. I don't think it's worth that much. Regardless, this is pretty much what you get with the car pack itself. I'm going to take a look at pretty much every single one of these cars in this video. Sorry, not in this video, but on the channel over the next few videos. But for today's video, I'm going to take a look at the flip car. Now, the main thing about it is the flip aspect of it. Like, it's a flip car, right? I should be able to drive around and flip things with it. Flip cars with it and everything. And what can you not do? You can't flip anything with it. That's actually so incredibly disappointing. I can't believe they got rid of that feature. They literally said, well, they didn't get rid of it because it was never a feature to begin with. But it was due to griefing? Like, what? I don't know, man. I don't think it's due to griefing at all. I just don't think they were bothered to even make it. The flip car. Because, here's the thing. We have another car that's in the game that's banned. So you can't actually do stuff online with it. So you can basically just use it for, like, regular free roaming. But you can't actually do anything. I have a bubble in my throat. You can't actually do anything with it if you want to take it out racing. Because it's banned. You're not allowed to take... see if I can find it. Right there. This thing. The Tachyon Speed. The Racer Tachyon Speed. As you can see, it's got... Look at the numbers of the stats of this thing. But it's stuck in A-class. So instead of fixing that, they decided to just ban the car from racing online. They could have done the same thing with this thing. You could have just banned this thing from racing online. Because apparently the reason why this thing isn't going to flip anything is because of griefing. Which is stupid. It makes no sense. Just basically just ban it from being... Why is there no AI? There's no traffic cars. I've been looking for cars to try and showcase this thing. And try to see if I can flip something with it. Obviously, it's not going to work, but... I've been trying to look for AI. Trying around, and there's nothing. Do I have to go offline? Or what? What's the deal here? I'll go on the highway or something? Regardless, I'm going to do stuff to this car. Obviously, I'm going to be driving it and doing some weird things to it. I don't really know exactly what I want to do to this thing. It's a little heavy. So, ideally, I kind of... Yeah, see what I mean? Like, come on. Come on. So boring. So boring. My plate actually makes sense to have on this car. It's stupid. That guy just realized what car I was driving. He's come back. He's like, wait a second. What the hell is that? Alright, mate. How are you? I'm not trying to race you. This thing's stock. And it's dog shit. Anyway. Let's just do stuff to it, man. It's just such a weird thing to have added into the game and then just have it not do what it's supposed to do. Yeah. I mean, it's cool to have in the game. Alright. Well, let's do stuff to it. Let's see if we can make this thing usable? Drivable? I don't even know what to say with it because it's mid-engine, it's rear-wheel drive, it's got a decent amount of power, but it's got absolutely so much weight. that it feels like it'll be impossible to drive around. Now, the look of it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Hot Wheels Bone Shaker, which means really wide tires in the rear could possibly give this thing a stupid amount of grip. So it could be a very good car to drive around like that. I don't know. I really don't. We'll have to have a look at that. There's not really much else that I can really change. I can't change tire width or anything like that. I can change just rim size and that's it. Ideally, I kind of want to get this thing to have as little weight as possible because it is, like I said, quite heavy. So I'll buy pretty much race spec everything. I can put drift suspension on it. Should I try drift this thing? I feel like it'll be a little bit better if I try drift it than anything else. Weight reduction gets rid of a bit of weight. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be competitive for absolutely anything. It just doesn't seem like it could do anything useful. I mean, we can't even engine swap it. We can make it all-wheel drive, and that's pretty much it. But we can't really engine swap it or anything like that. So what I'm thinking is maybe make this thing into a drift build, because like I said, it just doesn't look like it has the potential to be decent like that. You can see the handling and everything. It's all just incredibly mediocre, so it's not going to be like anything crazy. So what's the camber going to be like? Is it going to be cambered on all 4 front wheels? Is that how this is going to work? I also need to change my tire for the rear. We'll put snow tires on it again, just because they're just kind of slippery. Alright. I mean, what can we also do? We can aspiration swap this thing, I guess, or we can twin turbo it, so we can give it a little bit more power. The issue with this guy isn't the power issue, it's the absolute lack of handling grip, I guess. Even though it's got a load of tires at the front, it seems like it's a little bit useless. Alright, anyway, we'll leave it like that. 1,000 horsepower all going to the rear wheels on these snow tires. It is still quite heavy though. I wonder what... It's also really long, so I wonder what sliding this thing is actually going to be like, because it feels like it could be a bit of a joke. This is on drift suspension, by the way. This is the setup on drift suspension. I'm sorry, what? What is this drift suspension setup that they added on? Right. Well, I'm gonna put a very basic setup on this thing, just like every other car, and I'll try to drive it. Why is top speed so terrible on it as well? It's got 1,000 horsepower, and its top speed is awful. I mean, it's supposed to have a lot of downforce, right? That's the thing with it, but it's still really bad at lateral G's as well. I know the tires are pretty bad too, but like, Jesus, it doesn't look like this car has any positives to it, to be honest. Right, what are we looking at with this thing? It's a little better. You can see that I gave it like a tiny bit of toe, just the tiniest bit. It feels like an all-wheel drive car. This is so strange. This does not feel like it's making 1,000 horsepower. What a letdown of a car, man. This could have been so good. What an insane letdown. That's crazy. Honestly, this video would have been so different if I was able to build this car the way I wanted to, which is just lower the suspension as much as humanly possible, and then just send every car into the moon, every AI. I feel like that would have been such a much more fun video to watch. But no, Forza decided to be boring about it. And even if it was like a modeling issue, if they decided to just make it so... If they just couldn't model it so it'll have like kind of like the wedge shape, surely, right? Here's the thing: surely they were able to do something with just having the ramp in the game. There's ramps all over the game, right? Like, you know, for dangerous line jumps and stuff like that, and even just the actual ramp, you know, design, I guess, that's in the event lab stuff, right? You could have just modeled the front end of this thing so it's the same as that. You have the... I feel like they have the resources there. This could have been just like a moving ramp. That's it. I don't think anybody would have really cared if this car had a horrible, horrible set of handling physics. But you were able to send cars to the moon with it. Honestly. It's not even that good of a drift car either. The rear wheels are so wide. It feels a little bit like it's all-wheel drive. It kind of wants to grip up. It obviously isn't, and I locked the diff as well, so... Such a strange feeling car to drive. I honestly feel like they missed the mark with this thing. They could have done such a good job with it, but... I don't know why they didn't. I really don't. They said it's because of griefing, but I honestly, I don't know if I want to believe that. Okay, it's kind of hard to spin out. I tried. I tried there, but... It really, really didn't want to spin out for me. Well, I obviously tried to save it after I gave it too much, but... Angle-wise, it's actually quite nice. It just doesn't have the performance to be able to do any sort of point drifting. So if I was even to build this thing for point drifting, I just don't think it'll have the performance for it. I also keep forgetting to put on the drift cam, because I always keep changing. There's always other videos that I do in between. So like sometimes I'll have the drift cam on and then I'll be racing and then I'll have to turn it off, and basically that keeps happening. So there actually is a video that I have recorded already that was supposed to go up, I can't remember when this video's going to go out. Yesterday, I think? I think the video was supposed to go out yesterday. And I didn't end up putting it out because I wanted to make a video on the new GTA 6 trailer, right? And I wanted to kind of go a little bit more in depth with it and have a look at the cars and stuff like that that's in it. Also, if you haven't seen that video, go and check it out on the channel. It's quite an interesting one. I kind of pause the video a lot and we take a look at some of the cars that are in the game and some of the detail and everything. There you go, this is my first spin out with this thing. Probably didn't rewind far back enough. Oh well, it's fine. But I basically did that. I had a look at that video, but I also have another video that I tried and I tested out some cars that you guys sent me. That video should probably be out maybe tomorrow or the next day. I'm not 100% sure when it's going to be out because, like I said, I still have to take a look at some of the other cars from this car pack. And yeah, we'll see. But I'm very, very excited. Let me know if you guys are excited for GTA 6. What do you think of the trailer? Do you think it's good or bad? I've already seen people try to find a lot of negatives about the game, and it's not even out yet. They've barely shown the first trailer, and I've already seen people talking about negatives of it, which is kind of strange to me. That everybody's like so positive and so welcoming of it, and then you have some incredibly negative people that are finding something to complain about already. It absolutely blows my mind. Like, how can you be that much of a negative person? And I am a negative person in real life. Like, I think of the bad before the good always. But, I guess that's just a pessimist, right? I'm not a negative person, I'm just a pessimist. Like, I'll always see the bad before the good. But, it's just weird. When something like that comes out and people just immediately, like, start complaining about something, it's crazy to me. I do love the amount of detail that's gone into this, though. I think I'm gonna pull up now in a second, and I want to have a look in photo mode on it as well, or at it, not on it. But I'm gonna basically pull up photo mode on the game and have a quick look at this car. So what's it like to drift? It's got a very strange feeling to it. It feels like it's mid-engine all-wheel drive, but it's got most of the power going to the rear wheels. It's not all-wheel drive at all. It's fully rear-wheel drive, but it just feels like that. It does feel mid-engine though. It definitely does feel like the front is a little lighter. Not a big fan of the setup on this thing. Maybe it was right to keep more camber on the rear. I basically got rid of all the camber on the rear and I just maxed out the front end because that's how I usually build some of these cars. But I mean, it pulls in both points, which is pretty much like every other car in the game, but yeah. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Alright, let's pull up right here and whip out the camera. And let's have a quick look at this thing in a little bit more detail. So, again, super, super crazy detail. Look at the welds and everything as well on it. That is quite good. Even the detail in this, look, you can see how detailed that is. That is very, very cool. All the rivets and bolts everywhere. That's very nice. Obviously, because all of this is fully, fully exposed. All the suspension and everything is fully exposed everywhere. Everything should be in incredible detail. And it is. It is. It's just a little clean right now, which is weird because I've just been driving it. Well, it looks good. That's a slightly low res bolt right there, but can't really blame them. It doesn't look bad. It looks a bit flat though, doesn't it? It just looks like it's not shiny where it's supposed to be. Like some parts like this. Right, look how good that looks. And then you go to this. And it just looks a bit like you can just see the polygons in it. It's just a little weird for a car that's like heavily like exposed, like it has everything exposed in the rear. You see, yeah, you can see the numbers as well of the PSI. A bit blurry and a bit bad, but again, I'm kind of nitpicking here. Let's have a look here. Suspension, brakes, braided lines. Again, a lot of polygons and things. I feel like they could have gone in a little bit more detail there, but honestly, look, even a coil as well. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. It's not the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. There's definitely other cars with more detail, but for the car that has a lot of this stuff exposed, I feel like they've done an alright job. Like I said, it could have been much, much, much worse, and I have seen much, much worse when it comes to Forza. So it's really not too bad. Was it double wishbone at the front? It looks cool. Was it quad wishbone at the front? Yeah, I like it. It's a very interesting looking car. It's just, I feel like they missed the mark with it and they could have done so much more with it by actually giving us the option to actually have the wedge shape of the car be utilized in flipping things. I feel like they could have done that. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Not that long of a video, but I wanted to showcase this car because it is one of the most interesting cars that they've ever added into Forza Horizon. So I wanted to obviously showcase it and show it off. Even though, like I said, it's a little bit... Oh yeah, I want to take a look at the interior as well. Even though it's a little bit disappointing, to be honest. With the lack of flipping that you're able to do with it. Oh, there you go. The lever on the right is completely pointless. Apparently it just doesn't want to let us use it. Should be able to put it in drive, but no. Or at least into reverse. It's not actually being used. It's like they brought this car out and then they decided to be lazy about it. They're like, oh yeah, we'll model the car and everything, but we'll just be lazy about it. Weird. Weird. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. This is it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.